Hi, Hotties. I'm Carson Frey. I am the host of The Real House Guest of North Hollywood. How we all doing? Happy Tuesday, Wednesday. When we try to put out Tuesdays, but Tuesdays are really hard. Sometimes we put out Wednesdays. But maybe you're listening or watching this on a Thursday. So happy Thursday or Friday, Saturday, whenever you listen. Hi, how are you? If you're watching and it looks different, it is a little different. We're still at my house. We're still in North Hollywood, I promise. But we're trying a little different setup. If you like it, tell me. I need constant validation. So if you're like, no, this looks so much better, literally comment and be like, oh my God, Carson, love your new setup. You're so cute. It looks so good. If you don't like it, send me a direct message. Because the comment, I'll just be like, why are people being so mean to me? I'm like tough in some ways and then so emotional in others. Like I had this TikTok of me and Jordan I didn't do an episode last week, but from 2 weeks ago of us talking about like what the gays like and not. And we were being silly. Like you all know, like I know I don't speak on behalf of all gay people. My friend Jordan does, but no, we're being silly. And all these people were calling and be like, you're wrong. Gay people love Erica. And I'm like, well, in LA, we got Marco, so a lot of people are understanding of what that law case is. But ignorance is bliss. And like, I know you might see Erica and be like, I love her, or I hate Sutton, or I love Verna, whoever. We all have our people. But then all these people start commenting, like being like, oh my God, this girl's voice, so annoying. And I'm just like, I live in the valley. Like, you cannot be mad at me for vocal frying and up talking. Like, this is where I live. This is my culture. Okay. All right, guys. So today we're going to talk Summer House Southern Charm. Right now I'm also watching Beverly Hills and Southern Hospitality. Nothing is real. Southern Hospitality is actually quite good. Summer House, I think we're going to get somewhere. Southern Charm, snooze fucking fast and like blah blah. Beverly Hills it's okay. I'm not mad about it. I'm not like, oh my God, guys, it's Beverly Hills Day, everyone come over and watch with me. I'm more like texting my friends like, hey, did you watch yet? Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, let's talk Summer House. Episode 2, it's called The Stakes Are High, because you know Carl's making that big old steak that looked gross to me. Like, why did that steak that Carl pulled out for everyone, it looked like I don't know. I know like it looked medical to me. And I know like meats, animals, like it's all organs and shit and parts of a body, but I'm like, it really didn't look like a steak to me. So the episode really opens with Carl's entrance into the summer house, and Lindsay just like looks past, like doesn't care. And I think Lindsay's honestly grateful, like they didn't acknowledge each other. I think they both went in like, should we not? And Lindsay in her mind is like praying that Carl doesn't, and he doesn't. And she's like, thank God. They're all kind of starting to get ready, and Wes is just so full of himself. Like the way he looks at himself, like he's getting ready, he's like, yeah, you look like a hot famous guy. It's like he's like enjoying the fame, and that's not likable or interesting, really. Like I'm like, I want to be like, you're not that famous. You're not. And then Jesse's talking about Lexi. He's obsessed with her. And he's like, Lexi's juicy booty. And I'm like, why does that feel so creepy? Like, I know she's into him. She's a lot younger than him. Oh my God, you guys. So I found, I believe, Talk of Shame. She has like a radio show on Andy's like radio show. She's really great. Follow her. She does a lot of fun like true crime stuff as well, especially within the Bravo universe. But she did a deep dive and realized that Lexi Wood from this new season of Summer House is that same girl, that model, that David Beckham, what's the youngest? Brooklyn Beckham? I don't know. One of the kids. He like cheated on his girlfriend Chloe with this like model. It was Lexi. Talk of Shame posted the photos. It was like 5-6 years ago. So she's like 20 in the photo. I'm like, that is her. Anyway, I find the whole thing with Jesse like creepy because he's so much older than her. And then Amanda and Paige start to like talk about Lindsay's pregnancy and what it means for them. And Paige kind of like paints out how like she got with Craig. After that, Carl and Lindsay got together. Carl and Lindsay got engaged. Carl and Lindsay broke up. And she's just dating Craig. And her kind of confusion with like, oh, I thought I would want a baby now and I don't. And Amanda's the same way. She used to say when I was 20, I'll have kids at 25. And then when she was 25, she's like, no way, I'm a baby. I'll wait till I'm 30. That sounds great. And then in her 30s, she's like, no, wait, I'm a baby. And I'm never related to something more. Like, I really always thought, like, you're going to live in LA and then you're going to meet someone and then you'll have a baby, like, by the time you're 25. That is just not at all how life has worked out. Like, I'm, like, just not in that mindset at all. And I'm 29. So, and I can't see myself having a baby in the next few years. So, just kind of crazy. And I understand, like, seeing your other friends have babies, you're like, oh my God, do I need to have a baby too? And then the boys go to lunch and Jesse just talks the whole fucking time about Lexi, how much he loves Lexi, how that's his girlfriend. I'm like, you just met her. Maybe Jesse didn't like the reaction he got last season from being like the single guy and douchey. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna be the guy with a girlfriend. And then, so while the boys are at lunch, the girls are hanging out by the pool. Lexi's like gushing about Jesse, and they're all like, oh, uh-huh, yeah. The girls ask for Bailey for more info on her relationship, and Gabby calls it out perfectly. Like, girls in a relationship, she's just trying to pretend she's not, and she wants to be seen as single, but she's in a relationship. Apparently, the tea on Bailey, if you're not caught up, so she was announced as a main cast member when they started filming last year, but she's not in the photos. We know she's not a main cast member. Apparently, she quit showing up at a certain point because she was the one, like, leaking storylines. Oh my God. And why Jesse's like on the way back from lunch, he FaceTimes Lexi. There was a lot of me cringing at the men on Bravo this week. It's just very cringy. It was just very extra. And then we see all the girls in bed. I love an in-bed moment with the girls on Summer House. It's one of my favorite times. It's just truly like, it's like when you see the women on Housewives fighting on a boat. You're like, this is Housewives. When I see the girls in bed, like Sierra and Paige just like talking, be like, you don't really like him? Yeah. Oh, you do? Okay. Yeah. Like, that is to me my favorite. Lexi then opens up to Jesse about her friend who died. I think Jesse is pretty compassionate in the moment, but it's just kind of like, it feels too soon. It's just their whole relationship is moving so fast. I'm like, you haven't known each other 48 hours. Like, chill out. And then Carl attempts to congratulate Lindsay in the bathroom, and it's so awkward. It is so awkward. And then, like, Kyle's, like, pretending to do something, and he's, like, just there to eavesdrop to make sure it's okay. It's like he's, like, you know, let me guide you guys through this experience. And then Sierra expresses to Paige how, like, truly difficult it is to be around West and how she did like him. And she's just so hurt. And she's like, where? And that's kind of true just after a breakup. You're like, where do the feelings go? Like, the love I had, because if you didn't love someone or care about them, you wouldn't feel so upset. West then talks to Lindsay about how he feels so bad, but he feels like he did nothing wrong. And, like, I think for West, it was like a showman's, and it wasn't that for Sierra. So then everyone, like, sits down at family dinner, and Paige, like, it's like all normal and stuff. And then Paige is like, actually, guys, it's a little awkward. It's a little awkward. And it kind of is. And it's more awkward with Wes and Sierra, who were never actually truly together, than it is with Carl and Lindsay, who were about to get married last summer. Now she's literally having a baby with someone else. Like, that should be a lot more awkward than it is. And Lindsay's just kind of like, yeah, we dated, but now I'm having a baby, so who cares? I love the synergy on Lindsay this summer. Like, I'm like, There's something about as you get older, you see your friends accomplish or receive a deep desire. And obviously, like, I don't know Lindsay, she's not my friend. But as an audience member, since season 1, all we know about her is she doesn't have a close relationship with her mother, yet she, yearns for motherhood. And seeing her get it, it's like, oh, I can see her coming into herself, you know? And then at the dinner, Sarah lets Wes know that the New York Times article pissed her off. He really doesn't understand it, and she goes off, and Wes is just like, okay. It's like, Wes, you're on a reality show. If you're going to stir all this drama and, like, be a part of it, fucking take it, and, like, don't just, like, why is everyone, like, Wes, don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Is that, like, misogynistic of me to say? A little bit, maybe. I don't know. Wes, man the fuck up and talk about your feelings. As we're sitting over there like, oh God, you're going to get us canceled. First, everyone on TikTok decided your voice is annoying, and now you're telling people to man up. Like, who the fuck? To me, manning up, though, is talking about your feelings and, like, being able to receive someone's emotions and not being like, well, it wasn't that big of a deal. Maybe it was. And, like, Wes is like, can we have the conversation in private? And Kyle's like, actually, I would like to overhear. Please have the conversation here. And he just doesn't take it. He's just such a sad baby. And then Lindsay announces, she goes, guys, I have to shit. And it's like the funniest thing, and everyone like erupts in laughter. And then they all go out except for Lindsay. I think Lindsay stays in. No, I do think Lindsay goes out with him. But of course, like, the girls come back early, and then kind of Sierra expresses the want to be close to Wes, but just like the pain of like what he's done, and her being like, I wish he would just like make out with me. But she realizes and recognizes that that's toxic AF. I feel like Sierra was at Trader's doing that round table every night, and she's like, when I'm back in the summer house, I'm gonna call out the Traders. Wes, you're a traitor. I know it. Like, it's like she was so prepped. And then Amanda talks more about how, like, she also thought she would be, like, pregnant and having kids young, kind of like what her and Paige were talking about earlier, but how she's prioritizing her mental health over everything right now. And I really related to that because there's so many things I want to do and think I want out of life. But as I get older, I realize if my mental health is not where I want it to be or where it could be, I'm not ever going to be able to experience those things in the way that I want to. Like, if I choose to have children, I don't want to not be at my best self. And so, yeah, that was just like really, really relatable. Wes is just so scared of Sierra and like being able to talk to her. And then Lindsay announces she will be leaving the party early and won't be at the 4th of July party, which honestly, like, I get. Like, homegirl's pregnant. Like, let her go home. So Wes is like, man, that interaction with Sierra was so bad. Let me go talk to her. So then they go in and they have this discussion, and without saying it's what it's about, Sierra basically says, like, who cares what the fans think? Who cares what the audience thinks? Just talk to me and receive me person to person. Stop being worried about all the outside. And it kind of breaks the fourth wall without them saying it's the fans. She's saying other people, but that's what it is, because what they're arguing about is the reunion and the press after. So yeah, I'm so excited for this season of Summer House. I don't know if you guys saw next week's the preview, but that's when Kyle starts sending his manic, pissed off text to Paige about all the Craig stuff. Someone on Reddit, I believe, zoomed in, and a lot of it wasn't about Craig. It was actually about something Hannah said on Call Her Daddy like years ago. Look it up. It's very interesting. And like also in the text, Kyle says, ask so-and-so at Bravo. Like, Hannah was never the most popular. So yeah, I'm excited. And also I love that Southern Charm and Summer House are airing at the same time, because normally Southern Charm is more like November, December, from what I remember from last year. And then Summer House was March. So the fact that we got it so early and like we're getting it side by side, I'm like, yes, 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 yes. Okay. Ezra, I think we're getting some breaking Bravo news.
Beep, 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 beep. We're interrupting your regularly scheduled recap for this Bravo news.
So for Bravo news this week, we're going to keep it light, keep it tight. Start off with Lady Gaga talking about Vanderpump Rules and shouting out Scheana as her favorite cast member that she will miss the most. I know Scheana saw that and felt so alive. And that made me feel alive knowing how alive Scheana felt from that. So congrats, Scheana. Gaga loves you. If Gaga like called me out personally, be like, I love Carson, I would be like, I'm good. Like, kill me now. Like, Lady Gaga. Hannah and Paige will be hosting the Vanity Fair Oscar after party. Like, that's huge, major. And in the announcement, they said fashion tastemaker and podcaster Paige DeSorbo. And I know when she saw that, she called up the people at Bravo and said, hey, because on Summer House, they have like their job titles. Like Jesse, it says investor relations. Lindsay, it says influencer. Change Paige from podcaster to fashion tastemaker. Now, like, do it mid-season. Like, come on. Love Hotel got announced as officially coming soon. So it's going to be a dating show with not all the housewives, with 4 housewives. Luann, Ashley Darby, Giselle, and Shannon, and hopefully they find love. I heard some of them did. Okay, we do have one part of sad Bravo news. So Porsha's estranged husband, and I've heard he's awful, was detained by ICE. Now that, I don't care. I can hate someone. I shouldn't exist. Like, that's fucked up, and that's really sad. He has children. That's really, really sad. And I've been thinking a lot because I've realized a lot of Bravo creators don't talk about politics, and you're going to listen to them and like not know what they think, where they stand. Well, just so you guys know where I stand, I do not fuck with this administration. I'm terrified of it. I don't believe I should exist. I don't believe in any of that bullshit. And if you don't want to listen to my podcast or support me because of that, that's fine. But that's where I stand, and those are my feelings. And it's not some distant thing that what this administration is doing. It's affecting me and my community in a very, very direct way. So I just want to put that out there. Like, don't fuck with this administration. Never have, never will. I'm really terrified of what's going on. On lighter news, Scheana posted her side of the story of everything going on in Southern Charm on her TikTok. She did proof receipts and pulled it out that she did not message Whitney first on Raya. He messaged her, and it was just like, hey, how are you? Good, how are you? That was it. And then she talked about how like she tried to end things with Shep before the Bahamas episode, and he was like, no, you tell me on camera. I owe it to the fans. I'm authentic to the fans. Like, okay, I will, but I don't want to. And she said in between the dog party and the Bahamas trip, really what happened was she watched the show for the first time. It's like, oh, this is the guy I'm dating. I don't want to date this guy. This is a man child. Not into it. Yeah, and with more information, we become smarter, better. So definitely follow her on TikTok, get her side of the story, and let's just go ahead and go into Southern Charm and talk about that. So it opens the Bahamas, and Molly's like, I can't go out. I'm sick. But like, she's sick. She has a migraine. She does kind of admit, though, like, she's not really that sick. She had a lot of champagne. But girl, I've been there. Vanita's not there because she couldn't find her passport, so she missed a flight. Scheana and Shep talk. Oh my god. It's so awkward, like, the whole time. Shep is like, and she's like, oh god, oh god, oh god. It's just so awkward. Shep, he just like pours his heart out to her, and she's like, oh, I didn't know you felt that way. And he goes, Scheana, I'm in love with you. And she's like, Oh, okay. It's just very clear from my point of view that Shep doesn't love her because he doesn't know her. He's obsessed with this idea of her. He says he doesn't want to put her on the spot during the conversation, but telling someone you're in love with them when you can tell they probably don't feel the same way is putting them on the spot. And she doesn't just end things. She just kind of is like, let's go to dinner. And then they go to dinner and everyone's shocked to see her at dinner. They're like, this girl doesn't like you. Like, why is she at dinner? And then at one point in the dinner, so like Shep's like, hey, Austin, like, let's go talk to the side. And so they go talk. And then Scheana talks with all the girls. And Madison's like, girl, are you even dating? And it gives completely the energy of like, you know, when you're like in elementary school and your friend's like, I have a girlfriend at another school. And you're like, sure, a girlfriend at another school. And then you meet the girl and you're like, are you guys even dating? And Sienna's just like, I kind, you know. And when Shep and Austin are talking, Austin is clocking the fact that, all right, Shep's delusional. He's like lost it, like he's delusional. And then when Sienna's talking to the girl, she's like, the thing Shep and I have in common is the fact that we're both non-committal. I'm like, I don't think he's that non-committal with you. I think if you literally was like, hey, Shep, marry me, he'd be like, okay, thank you. And then they go to the next day. Oh, Scheana didn't stay the night. Like after dinner, she goes, I gotta go. My stomach hurts. So then it's like they all go back and then Shep gets up early. And I was like, Shep's old. Like they were doing flashbacks of Shep a few years ago. He really aged in the pandemic. I mean, it's just truth. Like Shep is older now than Thomas Ravenel when they first started the show, just to get perspective. Also, another thing to give everyone perspective, Shep and Teddy Mellencamp are the same age. Like they're from the same town. They went to high school together. We see housewives as so old, and not all of them are that old. And then we see people in Southern Charm, Summer House as babies, and all these people are the same age. So then Taylor and Molly talk about Shep, and it's so awkward because like Molly clearly has a crush on Shep. Taylor used to date him, and Taylor's viewpoint is he's getting a taste of his own medicine. And it's true. Like I would feel the exact same way. A lot of people aren't loving Taylor this season. She's not a standout for me, but I don't hate her either. Like I think it's kind of fun to watch this weird, like the past lover and maybe future, and he's like not caught in what's happening now. It's kind of interesting, the awkwardness. Oh my god. And this is when Shep sends the most cringy, manipulative text to Scheana. He obviously didn't advise anyone because everyone would be like, do not send that. Do not send that. If I would have received that text, I would have blocked him. I've been like, this man is crazy and is going to kill me. And Austin is cringing so bad. Like Austin's reaction is my reaction. After this episode, I'm feeling Austin, not feeling Craig. Which is crazy because like at the beginning of the season, I probably went out and was like, I love Craig, you guys. Blah, blah. I'm like, Craig low-key gives me the ick now. Crazy. With new information, we change. And then Molly and Taylor do flamingo yoga. I'm never been so jealous of an activity on a Bravo show. Normally I'm like, why do they do that? No one does that. Why are they doing this? Flamingo yoga. I want to do that. Producer Ezra, take note. Flamingo yoga. Like literally so cute. I want to be a flamingo. I really do. And if I can't be one, I want to do yoga with them. And then Vanita, Ryan, and Whitney arrive to the Bahamas. And during this time, they kind of show flashbacks of the night before. The girls were drunk. Like, I think Madison says her and Sally drank like 6 bottles of champagne. I'm like, damn, that's a lot of champagne. Like, and I just imagine, because obviously we probably don't drink the same champagne, but I'm like, the headache. the pounding headache. Did you guys notice though? So it's like they're the next morning and the boys are like kind of getting up. Craig has the same mic on that they have on Love Island. Like they're around the like necklace mics. I was just like, oh my God, is Craig on Love Island? He looks like an old, like, middle-aged Love Islander. So then Shep reads the text to Craig, and, like, it's so cringy. And while Shep's like, oh God, I'm realizing what I'm doing, you can see his veins popping out of his head, like literally popping out. I'm like, oh my God. And Craig is being very cutthroat with Shep. Like, it's too honest. And it's a little mean, in my opinion. And Austin agrees with me. Austin feels like he's pushing Craig down. Like, Craig is pushing Shep when he's down. Like, you don't need to do that much. And then Scheana calls Shep and she's like, yeah, I don't really feel good. I'm not going to come. See ya before I go. And at first Shep is like, maybe she could go to the fish fry and I'll go somewhere else. And Craig's like, no, that's weird. She's not our friend. She's your friend. She should be here to hang out with you or not hang out with us. And Craig is basically, the underlining is that she's not getting airtime and she's not a cast member on the show. So then half the group goes snorkeling and half goes to the fish fry. The van to go snorkeling is so awkward. It's that new guy, Ryan, who we barely see, that gay guy who's friends with Patricia. I wonder how he feels as a gay man, like being so close with Patricia, who's so MAGA. A lot of gay men are MAGA. Same way as a lot of women are MAGA. Whatever. But so it's Ryan, Molly, Taylor, and Shep, and the whole time Shep is just like talking about everything to Molly and Taylor, and Ryan's just kind of like, ah. And it's just so awkward to me because he's like pouring his heart out. And then they get to like where they're going snorkeling, and Ryan seems a little scared of the fish. Ryan, I related to you deeply there. And then, so this is 34 minutes into the episode, over halfway. That's when I realized Leva was not on this trip. And I said, it's taking me that long to realize she's not there, she probably shouldn't be there, and she probably shouldn't be on the show. Like, I like Leva, but she doesn't fit on Southern Charm at all. Like, just keep her on Southern Hospitality as this, like, Lisa Vanderpump pet. I like her in that role. And then Craig, he goes on this rant to Shep, and he's like, there's this, like, dark energy around Scheana, like, da-da-da-da. Do you think Craig knew that nothing was happening, so he's giving the editors fuel to like set her up as a villain? And then like at snorkeling, Shep is just not shutting up about Scheana, and it's so hard for Molly because she clearly likes Shep. And then they all kind of go out and go drinking, and they're like bar hopping, and then Craig and Madison like go off to the side. And he's like, yeah, like, you know, Austin doesn't like me. Like, Austin actually, like, hates me. And I felt a little bad for Craig because I felt like the bullied kid in that moment. Like, if you've read Craig's book, it's a lot about, like, how hard being bullied was for him. And so that was a little bit of a defense mechanism. But it's like, Craig, you're kind of being a dick. Yeah. Anyways, so the episode ends, and I really hope something else happens this season because I don't think it does. Man, this breakup with Paige and Craig is just messy, messy, messy. Not feeling that. So for book club this month, we are doing Love Me As I Am by Garcelle Bouvet. That will come out in March. And yeah, you can find us obviously, as always, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, anywhere you get podcast. Wherever you're listening, make sure you subscribe, comment, follow. If you have something nice to say, comment. If you have something mean to say, DM me. Or just send it to Ezra, and he'll tell me if it's, like, worthy of me knowing. Probably not, though. If you send it to Ezra, my favorite thing about the whole TikTok thing, you guys, is when people were being mean, Ezra was in those comments like, let's fucking go, man. You talk about Carson and Jordan, I'll come for you. But yeah, happy Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever you guys listen to this. Thank you for listening. Love you, love you, love you.
Yeah.